Diamond City is the first major settlement which you find whilst exploring the Commonwealth in Fallout 4. One part of Diamond City, which is usually inaccessible, can actually be viewed through the help of some console commands. This area, to my knowledge, just like it was back in 2015 when I first discovered this, is completely cut from the release build of the game. And a quick little thing before we get into this video, there does seem to be some debate regarding this location. Some people see this place as indeed cut content, maybe some kind of remnants of a player house that was abandoned in development, whereas some others see it as a sort of reward where players with a jetpack or who have patience to do a lot of parkour can get some pretty interesting loot. What do you guys think? If you were to turn off collision and actually use a free cam, you can make your way up here to what is an extremely small but precise room. And before we get into the nitty gritty of this, I just want to showcase that this place truly is unreachable, because you can tell that this room is literally just a square. There's no entrance, there's no exit. All of the possible entrances are blocked off by these big slabs of cardboard, and even this one over here has been kind of barricaded. But you get some interesting detailing, like the Boston writing with the Boston baseball team, which is some nice pre-war mural. And generally speaking, all around this area, it's a weird mix of finished and usable, but at the same time it has this overwhelming feeling of kind of being cut mid-development, like something or some kind of idea was established but it was never properly finished. And you can get this idea through just how weird the props look. I don't know if this is just me, but the props look kind of out of place. They almost look a little bit temporary, especially with this hot food counter with this hot dog stand. It just doesn't have the cohesion which a lot of the Commonwealth does actually have. The one unique thing about this cut area though is that it's actually filled with loot. It's even filled with a dead settler with some very generic loot that spawns on them. Right next to them as well, we actually have a mini nuke which you can take. And also throughout this area are weird little quirks like a fully working power armor station. This works perfectly as intended, no questions there. There's old pre-war items like cigarettes, there's fertilizer, and generally speaking just a lot of junk. There's also a bed which is perfectly usable, and you can sleep on this if you wish. This area also has a nice little bit of broken roof, which is interesting because you can see that rain actually falls through this area. Ambient occlusion, is that what it is? Where, you know, rain only comes through logical, you know, entrance ways. It doesn't pass through solid roofs. I can't remember the name. Initially I would have thought that, you know, something is connected to this room, like maybe there's some kind of entrance way which can take you up to it. But if you turn off collision and have a little scope around this building, you can see just how isolated this area actually is. There is genuinely no staircase, there's no lift. And I remember all the way back in 2015 when I found this, I thought that this must be playable, right? There's usable props in here, there's spawnable loot, something has to be going on with this location. But truly, even if you go and check out behind these little green doors right below it, there is just nothing. It's an empty shell of a building which was just isolated and abandoned for whatever reason in development. A really interesting quirk of this building as well is this Boston mural wall right here, because if you clip behind it ever so slightly, you can see that there is an existing layout of the room. So this room has been created as probably like a default model that's used elsewhere in Fallout 4, but whoever developed this has put some kind of angled wall to cut off the rest of the model. This is interesting because it implies that this place was very much unique. This isn't some kind of side effect of building a believable environment. This was purposely created to have a different structure compared to what the default model has to offer. This is actually going into Diamond City, or the low poly version, because we haven't actually gone in there. It's actually behind the stands, as you can see right about here. So the room exists entirely on its own. There's no way you can get up here, and Quite truly, I am pretty baffled why this is here and why this still remains here even all these years on from development. I have a theory that perhaps this kind of roof of Diamond City, of the entrance, was maybe supposed to be playable, because you get these weird bits of the map which almost look like it was designed for some kind of gameplay, like this roof was potentially accessible, because the further along to the left you go, the more interesting bits of detailing you find, like skeletons, whiskey, teddy bears, things like that. But again, you can never get up here usually. Even around here as well, we have stim packs, we have ammunition. This area is broken. There is absolutely no way in hell you are getting up here. I suppose it could be, in some ways, this left-hand side of Diamond City's entrance, which is suspiciously blocked off. Perhaps if, you know, behind here at some point in time, there was perhaps a staircase which would have led upwards. You can see that there is indeed a staircase. It's not quite modelled, but perhaps this was supposed to link up, somehow tie in with this roof, and you know, you get the idea. But ultimately, what purpose does this place serve? Like, if this was supposed to be in the game, then what is the reason? You know, is this some kind of secret hideout? Is this some kind of temporary safe house you could have got before entering Diamond City? But I think fundamentally it proves that even though Fallout 4 is a very cohesive open world, there are absolutely still elements of it which didn't make the final cut. And as an avid Cyberpunk 2077 fan, this upsets me to some extent, but also kind of warms my heart, because cut content is fucking fascinating and I love it and I'm here for it. So, you know, that's kind of the sole purpose of this channel. With that covered, that pretty much sums up today's video. Guys, I do hope you enjoyed. As always, let me know what you think. Do you think that this was supposed to be something bigger, or do you think this is a load of shit? Let me know in the comment section of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will catch you lot in a bit.